The plan is to turn this reservoir into a giant rechargeable battery. The hills would be its casing, the water itself the battery's stored power. This standard hydroelectric scheme in Australia's snowy mountains already captures snowmelt and rainwater and uses it to spin turbines to make electricity. The new so-called pump hydro scheme is different. It would take the water that's already passed through the system and pump it back up from a lower reservoir to its original one. No need for new rainfall. It would reuse the same water to generate power many times over.
When we're generating, the water will flow from Tantangara through the power station and into Talbingo, and then when we're pumping it, we reverse the turbines and pump it back up the hill.
There is one big problem. More electricity will be needed to pump the water up than will be created when that water falls back down.
The efficiency is roughly 70%, so some people say a little bit more, some people say a little bit less. So essentially you are losing energy.
Pump hydro schemes make money because water is pumped up when energy from other sources is plentiful and cheap. Water is released only when prices are high, when the electricity grid needs new power fast. The best thing about hydropower is how quickly it can kick into action. About 10 seconds ago, I requested that the taps of the existing system be turned on, the valves be opened, within 90 seconds, power will be fed into the grid. Electricity markets are finely balanced. Producers try to make exactly the right amount of power at any one moment to satisfy that moment's demand. Hydropower is unusually responsive.
Unlike solar, that only works when the sun's shining, and unlike wind, that only works when the wind's blowing, hydro is there ready to go no matter what time of day or night.
But as well as being unreliable, when solar or wind farms make too much power, it's often wasted because it's hard to store. Lithium-ion batteries are changing that, but the snowy pumped hydro scheme would store almost 3,000 times the power of what's currently the world's biggest lithium battery.
We're orders of magnitude cheaper than batteries, so even if the battery price comes down dramatically over the next decade or the next decade after that, they've got a massive way to go in terms of cost.
The hope is that pump hydro schemes will encourage investment in other renewables, as energy created by the sun or wind when it isn't needed won't be wasted, but converted into upstream water energy and stored. Andrew Thomas, Al Jazeera, Talbingo in the snowy mountains of Australia.